Hello, boys and girls. When I was 9 years old, this is where I came for surgery. This, as you can see, is a big hospital, but inside there's a place just for kids. It's called MariCare Children's Hospital. You probably don't think of a children's hospital as a cool place to go, but it's pretty cool. The doctors and nurses are really good at taking care of kids, and they're really nice too. Let me tell you what it was like. The day before my surgery, I packed some clothes, a few CDs I'd like to listen to, and even a favorite teddy bear. I had a snack that evening, but after that I couldn't eat or drink anything until after surgery. The next morning, the three of us, my mom, Dad, and I, arrived at the children's hospital. I was scared at first, but the people here made me feel a lot better. They talked to me and wanted to get to know me. And there are neat things to look at too, like a tree growing in the middle of the hospital. It had a house at the bottom of it and a wishing well. The first person we met was Lori, my nurse. Lori showed us my room, including my very own bathroom. I was glad to see the room was big enough for my mom or dad to stay with me too. Next, Lori put a band around my wrist. It had my name on it, and she said it was important to keep this on for as long as I was in the hospital. While Lori talked to me, she measured how tall I was and how much I weighed. She took my temperature, listened to my heart through a stethoscope, and wrapped a cuff around my arm to take my blood pressure. It squeezed my arm like a hug, but it didn't hurt. I changed into hospital pajamas, but I knew after the surgery I could change into my own. Lori explained how important it was to let the nurses know if I hurt anywhere or anytime. She showed me a scale from 0 to 10 with pictures on it. By pointing to certain faces, I could tell them how I felt and they would know what to do to make me feel better. It was a good system. Next came the fun stuff. Lori handed me a specially designed remote control. Very cool. She showed me how to turn on the TV, turn on the lights, or call a nurse at any time I needed something. She also showed me the PlayStation and DVD player. Then a child life specialist, Wendy, came to tell me what was going to happen. A doctor called an anesthesiologist came in and introduced himself. I called him the sleep doctor. He listened to my heart and told me about the magic air I would get during my surgery to keep me comfortable. It would be like taking a nap, he said. When it was time for surgery, my nurse asked if I wanted to ride in a wagon or walk. I decided to walk with my parents to the elevator. While I went with my nurse, my parents waited in an area close to the surgery room. They were a little bit nervous, but they knew I was in good hands and they would see me soon. I walked down the hall with my nurse, and soon we arrived at the surgery room. It was different than any room I'd ever seen. The doctors and nurses wore special clothes, little hats on their heads, and masks over their mouths. Some of them wore large glasses. It was different because this room had to stay extra clean. Sterile was the word I heard them use. But even with the masks, I could still hear them talk to me, and I could see by their eyes that they cared about me. There was a lot to see in the surgery room, a big light, equipment, and a special bed to lie on. There were sounds too, monitors beeping, and people talking. A nurse put sticky patches on my chest and a little mask on my face. I breathed in magic air and fell asleep right away. I slept during surgery and didn't feel anything. That's when the doctors did their work. While I was sleeping, a nurse put a small tube into my hand. It was like a tiny straw, and it was called an IV. Through the IV, water and medicine dripped into my arm. It didn't hurt. When I woke up from surgery, I was in a different room with new sounds. I stayed here until I was more awake. The nurse asked me how I felt, and I knew it was important to tell her if I hurt. That's always important in a hospital. After the surgery was all over, my doctor talked with my mom and dad. On my way back to my room, I met up with them. I was tired when I got back, so I slept for a while with my mom next to me the whole time. I liked having her there. My nurse Lori checked on me often, especially my blood pressure, the arm hug. The IV stayed in my hand until I was ready to go home. Lori told me I might feel sick after surgery, and she was right. I told her right away, and she brought me a basin and some medicine to settle my tummy. I was thirsty too. Lori gave me some ice to suck on, then later a popsicle. I tried to drink a lot, and I took my medicine because I wanted to get better. And I wanted to play. Even at the hospital, there was time for that. And there was even a playroom. I loved it in there. I met new friends, painted pictures, and did really fun kid stuff. One of my new friends was a child life specialist. She showed me different games and toys and always answered any questions I had. I always had lots of nice people around me when I was at the children's hospital. One of the nice people I met was my doctor. I remember when he came into my room and told me I was well enough to go home. My parents and I were so happy. We even cheered. Right before we left the hospital, Lori talked to us. She gave us instructions and answered all of our questions. Then she took out my IV and told me I had done a good job, an excellent job, she said. I couldn't wait to get home, but I also knew I'd miss all the nice people who'd helped me at the children's hospital. They became my friends. Thanks for listening, and if you have any questions, be sure to ask. Your doctor, nurse, or a child life specialist can help you. Remember, this is a special place just for kids. A special place just for you. See ya!